Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today is a rapid fire video. I'm going to get some altcoins out we haven't talked about yet, but real quick with Theta and Bitcoin, and really the total market, or I should say the others, the altcoin market cap. We can see, just a real quick recap. We have a beautiful ABC. We came right down to the bull market support band. We've been, like I said, we've been talking about this for weeks, the potential for it coming down and testing here. And we got that with others. We got that with Total 2, Total 3. I'm not sure if Total 2 had it, but I know Total 3 did it. We can see a beautiful back test here on Theta, A, B, C. We can also see Bitcoin, though, has not yet tested it. So the question becomes, how do the altcoins fare? I'm going to show you real quick. This could be some type of descending triangle, where if we get a bounce up and then continue down like this, then for theta, what we want to see in that situation is we bounce up, right? And then we come back down, but we don't take out the low. We make a higher low, right? Because you can even see, look what happened back over here. Theta had this massive running flat. So A, we came up, B, and we came down for C. And then when we did that, we tested it. We made one more low. We tested it again. We had a wave up, and then we made a higher low. But we also tested it 1, 2, 3 times. So if that's the case, and Bitcoin does get a bounce, we can see a bounce in theta, and then we come back down, right? Let me remove that so we can see. So here's the bull market support band. We get a bounce, and then we come back down, make a higher low, and bounce off of it. So there is a big chance that we can have, the total altcoin market to hold above its bull market support band. Now, if Bitcoin loses the bull market support band, then it's not going to look good, right? We had this descending triangle. We sort of met the measured move of that descending triangle. So it's looking pretty good for a potential bottom here. So if Bitcoin, doesn't get that, right? It doesn't get this bounce, but instead it just starts to dump. Then what we can see with theta, and when I talk about theta, I mean the total 3 others. Let's just go to others real quick, right? We can see probably a move, consolidation move, and then come down and take out this low ever so slightly, right? But then what we really want is to then wick back above, and we really want to hold above. So it really lies with Bitcoin how it wants to do it. Now, maybe Bitcoin doesn't even come down to test it, right? That could be a reality. There was different ideas like a triangle, but the problem is, if this was a triangle, we all wanted it to break to the upside. If it did break to the upside without testing it, then we would probably just collapse on ourselves. So that's kind of why I wanted to test back over here. And then if I said, we didn't test it here, so we're probably going to make up for it later. So now here we are, making up for it now. So the thing is, we really want to see the altcoins hold strongly in the event that we have to come down here. So if, for example, theta and the alts lose the bull market support band, it's still not over. We would just be coming down to back test maybe $1.40, $1.45, right? So then others, it would be 220 billion. So basically their previous top. So this was our recent local top. This is our previous top. So we would meander around, probably come down and back test it, then hopefully swoop back and continue charging to the upside. So we'll keep an eye on it. I just wanted to get that out of the way to set the stage for some of these altcoins. I haven't even looked at them yet, so will be interesting to see as far as XRP goes. We have still this range, right? We have this range here, right? We broke out of the range, and then we basically created a second range. So the second range is still intact. We haven't broken it yet. Now, if we do break it, because Bitcoin needs to go down to the bull market support band, we get something like this to finish down, right? So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we would probably get to that 36, 37, 38 cent area. Maybe I would just say 30, 39, basically 37 to 39 cents. We don't want to break 33. So that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be an A. This would be a complex B. And then this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. So this whole thing would be 1 and then a big 2, which would set us up for moon time. Massive, massive moon. Because if this is a 1, 2, it's going to be insanely interesting, because we would be entering that third wave out of reaccumulation. Now remember what happens when we exit reaccumulation. You can see something similar here, right, where we have sort of this basically same type of structure in here. Following that, we had the massive big breakout, right? But what happened prior to that big breakout is the loss of the support, right? We came down basically in this range here. We came down, we broke support before going much higher. Now, if you look at where we're at here, it's the same story, right? Look at this. Put it right about there. We came right below it. So the question is it sufficient enough? I would say it potentially is, but I'm really not going to say one way or another until Bitcoin tests that bull market support band. So that's basically the biggest goal we have, is for Bitcoin to come down and test it and get it over with. We want it to wick off of it with a vengeance. So you can just see for XRP over here how many times it went below it, back above it, below it, back above it, below it, right? It sort of meandered in here before it continued higher. So that's kind of where we're at with XRP. I do think there's a good chance the bottom is in, because when we look at XRP versus Bitcoin, we're back at the lows, very oversold, bullish divergence, completed 5 waves, right? And then when you look at the XRP versus USD chart, we haven't broken the all-time high. We have XRP is not a security, right? It's the only coin with regulatory clarity, Bitcoin and XRP. But despite that, the price action hasn't really favored it yet. I think it has to complete its phases, right? We have our top, we have our retracement, right? We come down for reaccumulation, and then we are basically in reaccumulation. So we're just waiting for this to fulfill itself. So it feels like an eternity, right? But at the end of the day, it's going to do what it needs to do. And a lot of it probably has to do with the lawsuit. I know, let's see, is it on the news? No. I know that they're meeting for a final summary for the settlement, like a final, I think it's like a I'm not sure what it is, like a trial assessment, or basically something they're doing in court. They're meeting. I haven't read the article yet, but they're meeting today. It's called a pre-trial conference settlement. So maybe we can get a settlement. I don't think it's going to be, they're going to announce it today, but they're going to talk about it, right? They're going to talk about it. So, but Ripple is very strong in their position. They're not going to budge. Basically, we could have had a settlement a long time ago if Ripple would have just took it, but they didn't want to. They said, no, we're not going to settle. We want you to admit that XRP is not a security. And if the SEC doesn't do it, then we're not going to settle. And basically the SEC is banking on this lawsuit because it's basically the poster child for all lawsuits to come following this Ripple case. So we have a lot to be worried about if it doesn't go right for all of crypto. So we want Ripple to win the case, because that will set the precedent for all other cases to come. And then also, if we get a settlement, then that would mean, right, XRP is not a security, but they're not gonna settle. So if they don't admit that, if they don't come to those terms, right? So they want that regulation, and if they don't do it, then they got to go to trial. And then it's going to take probably another year or two for them to go to trial and produce all the evidence to a jury, a grand jury, and then they let the jury decide, right? Or, if the judge rules in some way, then the SEC can appeal it. So it kind of feels like it's going to just take forever. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes, but hopefully they can get something out of this settlement today, and maybe announce something next week. I don't know. But the thing is, regardless of all that, it's not going to make me sell my XRP, because I know what I hold. I know the corruption within the government. I know, this is a ride or die situation for me. I'm going to ride it. And if it goes to zero, it goes to zero. But I really don't think so. I think this thing's going to end eventually. And once it ends, maybe, settling means both sides settle. It's a compromise, right? SEC gives a little bit. Ripple gives a little bit. Ripple will probably pay a fine. And then it's over. But they're not going to settle if the terms aren't correct for them. So we'll see how it goes. But that just gives me more confidence, because Ripple is so confident in their position that they are willing to go to trial, right? A lot of people don't want to go to trial because it could be a hit or a miss. It could be a disaster, right? But they're so confident in that case. The Constitution is on Ripple's side. The SEC is just ruling by enforcement. So, that's kind of what we have to deal with. So that's why I look at this move, and I really don't. This is sort of a news event. When XRP is not a security, we blast it off, but it was just out of place. So if you pretend that wave isn't there, I mean, you can't, obviously, right? It's already printed there. But basically, we would have just came up here, and we would be right here where we are now, right? Without this big, this wave to deal with. So, could it still be a triangle? I guess it could be. You have the A, you have the B, and then all of this is C. Then you get D, then you get E, then you go. Obviously, yeah. But we would need to hold for sure here. Another idea, I mean, basically the main idea has been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? A, B, C, and then we go. So we have this is the most important part right here. If we didn't have that, I would be concerned. But we have this diagonal here, which is very important. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But, this is the total altcoin market. I mean, the others, everything outside of the top 10. And you can see the difference here, right? Look how this market came down. We came down and there's no base. We quickly came up, which then had to come down for reaccumulation. This one, we had a very long, from here all the way to over here, very long accumulation, Wyckoff accumulation, right? So probably means we don't have to go into reaccumulation. So, always understand that this thing is very bullish. I mean, we are right in the middle of the retracement levels, so we're in a situation where we need to get out of it. But at least we back tested the bull market support band. So that's where we are on that. And again, if Bitcoin's gonna go below, we can back test this or retest it here, or even bounce up, make a slightly lower low, right, and then continue higher. So we really want to stay within the vicinity of the bull market support band. So that's pretty much it. I mean, XRP versus Bitcoin, it's all the way at the low, right? So that's a good indicator that we're looking good for a reversal here. And then we also have 5 waves. So we'll see. All right, the first chart here, rapid fire, is Jito or Jito. I'm not sure. There's not a lot of information here for me to read, but it kind of looks not so. I don't. It's very hard to know because there's not a lot of data. But we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, we broke the top, and now we're coming down. So this could be an A, a B, and now we're coming for C for a running flat, right? That's kind of how I would look at it, unless it's going to be an expanding flat. That's also a way to look at it. If it's not a flat, then you can say, well, then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have an A, right? We come up for B, we get C, and then we can go. Now, I don't know if it's going to take that long, but something like that. The smaller time frame here. I mean, it doesn't even have the bull market support band yet, so it's still basically a baby, right? We do have, some support in here, right? So I would say for this one, the retracement on it would be, we already had a 702 retracement. So I would say a bounce should come. Probably look for a B wave. If not, then we can be getting ready for that third wave. So I want to say that this is 1, 2, and now this is 1 of 3, and now we're starting that 3 of 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But again, not a lot of data. We'll come back to this one and see. But for all crypto, kind of looking for a final low or supports to hold. Solana. I know I've talked about Solana before, and we got exactly what we wanted. We came down in an A, we came up for a B, right? We had a crash, we had a retracement, and then we came all the way down in our C leg, right? So we came all the way down to the bull market support band, and we look what happened. We tested it. So we have theta, you have the total. I mean, look at all these charts that came down and beautifully smacked it right where it needed to be, right? So that's why it's important. And look at Solana. It has never tested it, right? We broke out back in October. This is when I started doing the videos, is when we first broke out in October, saying, hey, look, we're probably heading into a retracement for all of crypto. And the poster child was Theta, talking about, back in October of us going all the way into a retracement. So if you look at Solana, we broke out, we back tested the bull market support band, right? And we came all the way up here. So it's a good thing that it did test it, because it's been a long time since it hasn't tested it yet. So Solana is very deep into its retracement. It's almost at the all-time high. Let's put this on regular. So it still has a little ways to get there, but pulling the retracement down, we hit the 786 and got rejected. So a couple different ways this can happen. Number one, this is a 1, 2, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 1, 2, all of this is 3, right? So now we're getting a 4, and then we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We get another, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. Now, how this develops, I don't know. Could this go down into reaccumulation? Yes. Right? Because we have a rise, we have a crash, we have a retrace. We can come down for reaccumulation and go sideways before breaking out. That's what happens with Bitcoin. That's what happened with Ethereum. That could totally happen. Now, if Bitcoin continues rampaging to the upside, towards 80, 90, 100K, then I don't see this necessarily occurring. I just basically see, some type of bull flag before we break out. So I'm still very bullish on Solana until Bitcoin proves otherwise, right? So we did test it. We got the test, which is the important thing. Now let's see if we hold above it. So you could see the band is actually getting tight, right? You can see it's tightening up. We don't want it to cross. We want it to just sort of stay tight and continue to rise. But yeah, as far as this wave goes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Looking for A and probably B and then a C. Kind of looks like that's what we're going to get. But what would that mean for Bitcoin? Maybe if Bitcoin bounces and then Bitcoin goes to its bull market support band, we could come down and take out this low, and then we can head on higher. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. D-Row. But real quick for Solana, targets for Solana. I mean, it's already gone up so much. Man, this thing was less than $1, and it went all the way up to $200. If we can only have a time machine, everything would be perfect, right? No, but I think for a retracement here, a good target for Solana would be $420. $420 to $450 would be good. I think it can go higher than that. I mean, Solana has been very strong and a big leader. I would actually anticipate a 2.618 of $678, and then if we swing for the fence and we get a home run, we're looking at $1,000 Solana. That could totally happen. $1,000 Solana, I think, will eventually happen. I don't know if it could happen this cycle, but it could certainly happen in the future. But a good target, I would say, obviously we need to get above the retracements first, right? If we can break above 209 to 240, I would target 420, which from where we are now, it's approximately 230%. It's really not too much percentage. That's why I like coins right, that are undervalued, right? So if you look at some of the coins, you know, this is the base down in here. Some of them are barely right here, right? So they're barely breaking out. I would not financial advice. By the way, this video is not financial advice. Anything I say isn't. But I would probably rotate a little bit of Solana and rotate it back into coins that are over here. Not now. Obviously, we had a big dump. But, you know, if push comes to shove and we get back up here, and it's, for me, it's all about rotating things that are overvalued into things that are undervalued. Now, sometimes it always doesn't play out that way. That's kind of, you want to wait for, you know, 5 waves, a proper top, right? So that you can have confidence in that. And then sometimes, you know, selling it up here and sticking into cash, then waiting for the dump and then stick it into another asset that is, you know, back down at the lows. D-Row. Yeah, I think D-Row still looks bullish. I mean, to me, it looks like a big bull flag. We had a false breakout. I think I could think that maybe the bottom is getting very close. I mean, check this out. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3. We have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 up, or 3 down, 3 up, 3 down. So what is that? W, X, Y. That's a 3-wave correction. And then what this is an impulse. Let's see, do we have bullish divergence here? We do. Look at this. I even said last time too, D-Row looks bullish. Yeah, I think it's bullish. We have this low here, right? We have bullish divergence between the last wave of wave Y. So from here to here, right? And you can see the RSI is going up, price is going down. And then, but look at this. Let me take this off. You could see this big wick here. Actually, let me turn on sequential. Yeah, look at that. We had a 9, and you can see this candle right here. We wicked all the way down, and we got bought right back up. We had a big engulfing candle with a 3-way pullback. So what does that mean? Well, I want to see it hold support here. And look where it went. It went all the way down to the green dots. That's kind of interesting. So it's looking like it's just about done. I mean, there's always a chance for one more low, obviously, if Bitcoin has to come down. But even so, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. So kind of like a 7-wave bottoming theory. Or you can even say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of how you can say it too. But yeah, this is all corrective. It's correcting down. We're in a down trend, and we want to see a breakout, a back test, and a continuation. And I think that could come soon. So what is D-Row, by the way? I mean, does somebody know? Maybe somebody can drop a link or comment what it is. I'd like to know more about it. But yeah, I think it's, you know, we have it started out about 30 cents. Wow. And it went all the way up to $27. Jeez. That's an amazing run right there. And now we're sitting at $3 and some change. I mean, that move was massive. I mean, you're looking at 12,000%. So we had 5 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we have 1, 2, 3 down. So, and then we're starting to build a base here. So let's see if we can get out of here. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good. Now for targets for this, where I think it can go. Now, again, if contingent on this being the low, we can easily come up and then come back down without taking out this low. So 1, 2, 3, like that. And then kind of play around in here, maybe do a Wyckoff and then continue higher. So we could stay in this, we could build a base down in here for a little bit. That's always a possibility before breaking to the upside. But from a macro perspective, it does look very bullish. Let's see what this target could look like. Well, we really want to get above between 17 and $21, and a good target would be 42 to 45, up to 70, up to, I would say, $100, $109 to be exact, for a 4.236 extension. It's not going to be as good as that last wave we had. I mean, to get that's about a 3,200% if we get a full 4.236. So yeah, I think give it a little bit of time and let's see how it matures. Jasmy. For some reason, I thought Jasmy had more. Has been around longer than this. Well, for Jasmy, we haven't tested the bull market support band, and we haven't back tested the breakout level. So you could see we came down, we swooped up, we broke above the bull market support band, we back tested it, we had a big wave to the upside, and now we're sort of consolidating here. So I would kind of wait and see. Let me see the smaller time frame. Yeah, it's kind of like Bitcoin. It's still holding the low. It's still relatively strong. So we have A, we come up for B, and now it looks like we want to come down for C and test it here. So then we would have a complete A, B, C. So once we get down here, I would feel more comfortable. See how it reacts down here. And then, yeah, maybe take the trade. But there's just not enough data to know where it's going. I mean, it's at 1 cent. This thing opened at 36 cents. So it could be very big. You know, if you get in some of these coins real early that nobody really knows about. I mean, I've heard Jasmy been talked about a lot. But some of them you don't really hear about. And just like, you know, when THETA first started off, or Chainlink, right? When it started off, nobody talked about it really, and then it just went insane. I mean, look at Solana, right? That it's always that first wave where, you know, after that you get diminishing returns. But if I had to guess for Jasmy, I mean, it's no real reason to even talk about it because we're nowhere even close. I would say a 20x just to get back. Let's see. or no, I'm sorry, not a 20x. To get back to that 20 cent area, right, is about 1,000%. So still got a ways to go. But am I bullish on it? Yeah, it does look bullish. I think if the rest of the market continues to go, I think this one will as well. Just want to see a three-wave pullback here on this chart. I mean, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we already have 5. So we definitely want to pull back. This one is just nuts. KASPA. I mean, I wouldn't really want this one. Yes, it can keep going higher and higher and higher, but just look at it. It lost the bull market support band. This one doesn't look good. I would not be holding this one. Why? I mean, obviously it could keep going up, but it just looks to me like it's done. It went insane. It reminds me of Chainlink, how it just went nuts, right? Looks like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So A, B, and we come all the way down for C. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, look at the gap between here and here. Right? So somewhere in this gap, I would look to re-enter, if I'm already in it. So look at it on log scale. I mean, it does seem to have like a parabolic, like the growth curve, I guess you can say. So if I put the curve here, right? Put another one. Not perfect, but yeah, it's like kind of like in a parabolic growth curve. But to me, it looks like one, two, unless, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is 1. We get 2. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 3. And now it's sort of correcting for 4. And then we have one more push up for 5. I could kind of see that. But I think a lot of the gains were already made in this one. I mean, it's already just from about 2,500%. I mean, yeah, I don't know the market cap of it, but to me, it kind of would look like also it could be an A, B, C. It could be a running flat. So I kind of see both sides of it. It could be a running flat. And again, if Bitcoin goes and the rest of the market, this thing can probably really accelerate. But we have an A, we come up for B, and now we're sort of in this halfway area. It could come down for an expanded flat, right? A, B, C, go. Or a running flat, A, B, C, and then start to go. But if this is the end of the fifth wave, then probably needs more correcting. So yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. It looks like it has the ability to go higher. When I look at it on regular scale, I mean, it could be also building up, right? You have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It could be building up to go completely parabolic. Hard to say. Hard to say with it. If we the thing is, we lost the bull market support band. If we reclaim it, then we can come back to it and see if we have any more structure here. But as far as the recent wave, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So, we do have that 5-wave move. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's A. We come up 1, 2, 3 for a B, and then we come down 5 for C. So yeah, it looks like a nice running flat here. So we want to see, maybe we go a little bit lower, but we want to see some support hold in and then continue marching up. If we break the low, if we break below 9 cents, then it still has the opportunity for an expanded flat. But there is a gap between 5 cents and 9 cents down in here. So we'll see if that gets filled. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But yeah, as far as targets, hard to say because it's only been going up. It's just been in an uptrend. We haven't had this coin hasn't had a bear market yet. Kind of like Chainlink, how it was going up in the middle of a bear market. I mean, if this thing went up this much, what would it do when Bitcoin breaks out, right? I mean, it could just be small, right? Because it's all about perception, right? If Bitcoin breaks out, then this thing, if I just make it like that, now it looks like nothing, right? It looks like this thing is getting ready to just go insane. Totally could, right? But at the end of the day, it's all about what you think, not what I think. Obviously, this does look like, one wave. This whole thing looks like one wave. So it seems like we needed a counter wave before that next big breakout. Now, maybe that's what we're getting here. But yeah, I'll remind me and I'll come back to this one. Definitely looks interesting. Definitely looks interesting. HBAR. HBAR got smacked down big time. So if you look at HBAR and you compare it to THETA, right? I know people were talking about HBAR and THETA. Well, look at this. HBAR is, we broke out. Here's the bull market support band. This is where HBAR went. If you look at THETA, we broke out. Here's the bull market support band. THETA's way up here. So HBAR is down. HBAR crashed all the way down here. THETA's up here. Now, granted, THETA did go a lot higher. So, but I just find that interesting. Not to say HBAR is no good. I think it will do good things, and I think it will be successful. I mean, it's part of the XRP community. So, I think it'll do good. HBAR, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have this bear market. We have this Wyckoff accumulation, right? We lost the bull market support band, but we are sort of back testing in here, right? Now the thing about it is we're probably in phase D, right? So when you look at Wyckoff in here, right? Boom, 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 spring, boom, 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 spring. We come up and then we play around up here. We come up, we break out, and then we sort of just play around in here, right? Same thing in here. Hopefully getting support held so we can continue marching up into its retracement levels. And that's kind of how a lot of the coins are. Even Theta Fuel, right? Same thing. We need to work itself out in here before heading higher into its retracement levels. Now, for targets of that, we really want to get above between 36 and 45 cents. And then once we crack 50, I think up, 90 cents to $1 would be a good target. $1.43, $1.85, $2.30. And this thing's only at 7 cents. So I would say $1 would be a good target for this cycle coming up. Now, the bearish thing could be, this is an A, this is a B, and this is a C. And now we're going to come down and take out the low one more time. And that would be, now you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can say 1, 2, all of this is 3, this is 4, and then we come down for 5. But to me, 4 would be too big, right? But again, some of the charts kind of look like they can do that, but I'm not gonna. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. If we do, obviously the Bitcoin would have to lose the bull market support band and get crushed, right? So we're not there yet. But as of now, I'm still looking at it as Wyckoff, sort of this triangle here. We broke out, came back in, really want to find support and continue marching higher. So to me, is it finished? Well, I think we can get a bounce out of here, but let's see what the smaller time frames shows. Seems like we have this triangle here. And we came down, we met the measured move, and we wicked off of it. That's good. I would say we would probably start to find a bottom in here. Now, if Bitcoin comes down, we could revisit this wick down in here. But we really don't want to lose this low here. Or this low here. So around that 6 cent area. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on this one. We'll come back to it. XLM. It could be, the bearish idea, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we get 5. That could happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but that could happen. Or we can be, finding a base in here. We do have 1, 2, 3. So this is a 1, 2, 3, and this is a 1, 2, 3, right? So maybe we get another 1, 2, 3, and it could be a W, X, and a Y. If it's a WXY, you probably have more downside though. That would be the thing. It could turn into a big Wyckoff structure. That could happen. That would, again, it's not really fair enough to say one way or another. It's better if we wait and see what Bitcoin's going to do. If Bitcoin holds the bull market support band, it recovers, then what do the altcoins do? A lot of these altcoins look like they need some more correcting. Some of them look completely finished, like they're done. So it's a little bit of mixed signals. But I think, kind of like XRP looks more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you have A, B, and then C. But I don't like the way this third wave looks. I'm not sure if it's, the third wave can't be the smallest wave. And I don't think it is. I think this wave is smaller than this one. So it could work as a diagonal. The smaller time frame, let's see. It'll be interesting to see if we can get back above the bull market support band. We have a 1, 2, maybe we can get 3, and we find resistance. We pull back down, find support, and we can hopefully crack through it and get above it. XDC, as far as targets go with XLM, I was looking at that 80 to 90 cent area to get back to the all-time high, right? This 80, 90 cent. Really want to crack through 66, but a good target would be $1.50 up to $2.50 up to $3.87. XDC had a big bull run, right? We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This could be A, B, and we get C. Hopefully that's not the case, because that would mean the whole market would start to dump. But again, it looks very corrective to me. It looks like, we have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Maybe we get another 1, 2, 3. So, if it moves up correctively in here, then we have more downside to go. So we really want to impulse out of here. I guess you can say this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a diagonal here. And then now you have this bull flag here, which looks bullish. So A, B, and C. Yeah, the bullish way to look at it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Some type of diagonal, and then you have 1, 2, 3. You have 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3. So a WXY, ABC, A, B, C. Is C finished? Maybe, maybe not. But something like that would be the hope, the bullish idea, right? And then you have this channel here, corrective structure. So once Bitcoin finds that support and we start heading up, we can hopefully break out of here and we get to the retracement level. And then this whole thing would be 1, 2, and then we get up to 3. So then it becomes, okay, now what happens? Right? Do we keep going, or do we come down and go into reaccumulation, go sideways, then break out later? Hard to say right at the moment. Okay, render. Render looks interesting. Looks bullish. I think it's bullish. You could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this first wave looks like it's only 3. So 1, 2, but I don't really like that either. I haven't looked at this chart. I'm just trying to look at it. I would say this is some type of correction in here. So this is a correcting move. Then we have an impulse 1. This is wave 1, wave 2, and then 1, 2. And then maybe all of this is 3. Now we're getting 4 and waiting to get 5. So yeah, it looks pretty bullish. We did, and look where it came to. We came all the way down to the bull market support band. We had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe we play around in here a little bit. We could back test that $5 area right down here. So A, B, C, back test, and then continue going. Or it could be a triangle in here. If this is a 1, 2, and this is 3, and this is a 4, it could be a triangle. It could be an ABC. We'll see how it goes. But it looks like it still needs more upside to go. It still looks bullish. So that's kind of how my thoughts are on that. Ethereum. Looks like 1, 2. All of this is 3. We're getting 4. Then we get 5. But I think we're probably still in that third wave. I don't think wave 4 is here quite yet. Because this looks very corrective in here. It doesn't look like a 1, 2. I mean, it could be. I don't really see 5 waves really good in that wave, but I don't know. I think Ethereum is the same story as Bitcoin. We need to hold this area here at $2,600. So I would say that's sort of the line where we don't want to break. Now, it could come all the way back down and back test this area. But look, we broke out and we tested it many times. So we continued higher, and now we came back down. But on the face of it, it's just like the alts, right? The total altcoin, we have a beautiful ABC here, right? ABC. So to me, it could be 1, 2, 3, right? 4, and then we get 5. So let's wait and see if we can get some support held in here. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this video. Here's VeChain. I mean, all the charts are pretty much the same. They all had their Wyckoff structures. They broke out, and they're sort of at that area where they're testing the bull market support band, basically waiting for Bitcoin to make a move. Because this could also be an A, B, C, which would mean one more wave down, right? Because you have A, and then you have B, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C. And then the whole thing would be, I mean, that's the bearish idea. 1, 2, 3, this is 4, and then we come all the way down 5, we take out the low, all that liquidity is down there, and then we take it higher. And then it's like a big giant bull flag. So boom, 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 go. I mean, that could be what's happening. If Bitcoin just, decides to go below the bull market support band and go down into reaccumulation, that's sort of the scenario we can see. If Bitcoin holds above the bull market support band and continues marching higher, then we can see, support get held in here. A, B, we come down for C, and then we can start moving our way back up to the retracement levels before hopefully breaking out of them. So the fate lies with Bitcoin. We'll see how that plays. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you have any coins you want me to take a look at, you can always comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What was your favorite chart? And click subscribe if you haven't already. Probably, if we have time, we can get another rapid fire out this week, since I didn't get to get one last week because of that big dump. I wanted to focus more on the market as a whole. But anyways, if you want to support the channel, you can always do so. That's always very appreciative, supporting the channel. But But yeah, until next time, I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.